Okay, we are in book 2, chapter 3. Let's find which ones are the best ones in this. This is such a bad fucking option. This is the first option in this one, but unfortunately, it's basically who said that I escaped? The ones who fought Tyrad before sound like a bunch of weaklings. Do I seriously look like I need to run away from the likes of Tyrad? This is the Goblin Mage Fyron, by the way. He's asking, like, how did you escape Tyrath? I was like, who said that I escaped? I think this is the most proud option that I can choose, honestly. Other than that, others are just horrible options, honestly. Let me see. I am recording. Okay, good. Who said that I escaped? So you managed to persuade him to let you go then, the Goblin General says. Or are you going to tell me that defeated him all by yourself? Not by himself, Luna says. He had help from a certain Stillwater that I believe you're well acquainted with. You're talking about Aiden, Farron says. Yes, Luna says. Aiden seems to be taking an odd interest in Barry and his group for whatever reason. I heard that the Stillwater appeared out of nowhere in the middle of the fight, and he powered up Barry's stat device in a way that allowed him to cast spells. This is the reason why Barry is able to fight Terath on equal terms. What are you telling me should be impossible? The Goblin General says, unless the item itself is the one casting the spell. It says he should not be able to use magic by any means, which because of the complete lack of magic in their aura. I did hear the Lasethi of old experimented with adding magical stats to the devices a long time ago, but I'm quite certain that they've never managed to make it work. In order for someone to be able to cast spells by using those stats, they should need to have both the low magical frequency in the aura that is specific to the Lasethi and the potential to cast spells. They practically need to be both a Lasethi. Right, this is where we learn. Perhaps, I think we have already learned this, that we are a half Lasethi at this point. The Goblin starts suddenly looking at me in realization and sees the look on his face. Haruka starts to laugh. You finally figured it out, huh? What? Haruka says. You knew? Farron asks her. I figured it out a while ago after he started casting spells left and right against a bunch of skeletons, Haruka says. But I thought he was a regular Lasethi too at first. Aiden is probably the only one who knew it from the start, so that's why he's taken an interest in him, Farron says. What are you talking about? He's a half Lasethi. They're saying that you're a half Lasethi, Luna says. A half human, a half Lasethi to be exact. Upon hearing those words, Layla suddenly turns her head towards her. Not him, and she watches her attentively. And this is the first time I've seen her react in any way since the beginning of our conversation. Oh, her as in flower. I have Lasethi, you said, tell Luna. It's the only possible explanation, Fyron says. I don't know of any other races that look the way you do, as long as you are also half human. Your use of magical stats makes sense. To be honest, I don't really care either way. I'm pretty sure I've read this before, but I don't remember much of it. Being a half Lasethi doesn't really make any difference, blah blah blah. There is a way to unlock these stats permanently, Farron says. However, doing so would require a code that is likely only known to a handful of Lasethi in the top brass of the organization. I don't really realistically expect you to get use out of those stats anytime soon. Oh shit. I think this might be it. Because the god of time, Selgrim, will send us back to this trial, and we will be like, we need to fight Orca. And then I'm gonna be like, hey yo, do you know the stat device code? And then I will get the code from them. I put that shit in, and then I will unlock my like OP ass magical power, get some magic from these guys, and then I guess I will be fighting Araka, or Barry will be fighting Araka, not me, obviously. I was just impersonating, which is usually not something I like to do, but I'm just saying that, since considering I'm not reading at the moment. Let's see. Yeah, whatever. So this is where Layla is saying that she has heard a few things about Araka. So the options are, what exactly have you heard about her? Did you hear that she'll grant you 3 wishes if you spin by the chain? Did you hear that she gets sick if you spin her by the chain? Let me show you. That is hilarious. What exactly have you heard about her? I've heard that she's a very evil and powerful spirit that played a major role in the Stillwinter War, Layla writes. Is this really the same Araka as the one from 600 years ago? It is her, Luna says, I guarantee it. Who the hell are you two talking to? Araka says. Have you both gone insane? We were talking to Layla. I say, who the hell is Layla? Araka says, the Lasethi girl, Luna says. She has been communicating with us through written messages floating in the air in front of her. Oh, so that's what she has been doing, Araka says. Can't you see the writing? I ask her. No, I can't see anything from inside here. Are you stupid? Araka says. I have no eyes. I can make out most things with my magical sense, so I don't really need my eyesight for anything important. But to me, the girls writing in the air were just magical particles floating around at random. Now that I know what they're supposed to be, I might be able to make a little more sense of them. Are you sure it's safe to carry around like this? Little Rice looking concerned. I don't actually remember how Araka got trapped in the amulet. I know she was trapped under a mountain for a couple thousand years, after which what happened that caused her to get trapped in an amulet, I don't know. I have no clue. Who trapped her? I have no clue. Maybe they talked about this, I don't remember. Not that it was supposed to be. Maybe able to make more sense. Don't worry, she's not that tough, I say. Hell, I fought her with a dagger while she was in the best condition and she still couldn't kill me. You like to play with fire, don't you, Berry Boy? I don't know why this even happened. As long as she stays in an amulet, she's not a threat to us, Luna tells Layla. Come on, let's get going. We've been standing in one place for long enough. Moving on. So this is the part where Fyron understood the concept of small talk, and he's like, the tiger will be anointed in his army, and he's like, oh, maybe should have him as an accountant, which is obviously sarcastic. So we have the options. I'm going to tell it to you straight. I don't see him holding a pen anytime soon, which is kind of funny. I see that you didn't take you long to adapt to our human small talk. Could we stop calling them accountants? It's beginning to sound confusing. I think I'm going to go with, I see that it didn't take you long to adapt to our human small talk. That is because your small talk is not too different from what we used to call goblin politics not so long ago, Fyron says. But you've changed since then, I ask him. No, Fyron says, I simply took over. I'm sorry, the tiger says. What was it you said you wanted me to do again? Goblin laughs. Pay us no mind, I say. You're only jesting. Although you did say that you'd do anything, I say. So you should not act so surprised even if I made you arrange desk papers for a living, I suppose, the tiger says. Moving on, this is the same after that. This is basically the part where Luna and the tiger is talking, and Luna's like, the Varathia is the only place in the world where like animals are like capable of like intelligence, and the tiger's like, you can't be serious. I thought like every animal could do the same, like, you know, having consciousness or whatnot. Arka's like, you are dumber than ogres and you are like animals and shit like that. So now she's asking us to confirm her statement, which I'm not gonna be doing, hopefully. Well, it's a bit hard to treat him like a dun beast when he can speak common, yet to me he's no different from a harpy, a giant slug, and a banshee in an amulet. Yeah, creatures and animals are all the same to me, to be honest with you. I think one is going to... I don't want to antagonize her all that much, even though this is not an important choice, so it doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. But I'm gonna go with... Yeah, I really want to go with the banshee in an amulet. We're not on good terms yet. Well, we'll never be in good terms, but I think I'm gonna go with this one. Yeah, to me he's no different from a harpy, a giant slug, and a banshee in an amulet. Nah, I think I'm gonna go with the first one. Yeah, it's a bit hard to treat him like a dumb beast when he can speak common. Don't worry, I have an easy fix for this. Just ignore what he says. If you don't pay any attention to him, you'll find it much easier to treat him like an animal. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say animal? What I meant to say was a creature. I always get the two mixed up. Whatever. We have already read all this. So I will then propose to follow the blood trail, which normally would be a problem if I didn't have hearing in ancient languages. I believe I have those. Hearing is 4 and ancient language is 3. Good enough. I think I will do the propose to follow the blood trail. In that case, I propose we follow the trail, I say. If the trolls left it deliberately, then we'll have to fight them like we were already planning to. But if they did it by accident, then at least we won't have to waste hours of our time navigating the labyrinth. A valid proposal, Fyron says. Does anyone have any objections? As I've said before, it's all the same to me, Luna says. Do what you want, the tiger says. Alright, and let's move on. This is the same as before. I've already done this. This is basically, you can hear the ancient language. You can hear that he has a bomb on him or whatnot. So this is the part where like the troll is like quote unquote injured, and like he has a bomb on him, and he's waiting for, like, he didn't know that he has a bomb on him. He was thinking that, you know, the other trolls are gonna rush in and ambush them, and so if we remove the arrow or leave him to die, both instances are unfavorable. So we were gonna talk to him about the trolls, and we did this before as well. And then we were like, where are the trolls at? And he's like, oh, what trolls? And we were like, you think they're going to ambush us, but they're not going to, because they're, you know, sitting on a bomb, or like you have a bomb switch or whatever, something like that. I don't remember the exact story, but I've already done this, so whatever. So the troll was thinking that the switch was to call in the ambush party, and as soon as the troll removes from there, he gives us the remote. I press the remote button, and the area in which the troll was sitting earlier immediately gets covered in fire as a loud explosion brings down the wall and the ceiling around it, eventually transforming the whole corridor into a big pile of rubble. I just want to make sure you don't regret your decision of joining us, I tell the troll as I look at the shocked expression on his face. Does the same thing.